Alright, ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back. We've got Complexity up against Wheel. The series is now tied up. It's basically a best of three for here on out, but we did have an amazing game one for Wheel. I'm SP Revolution 5, joined by Drag Drop, of course.
Yep, that's me.
And your thoughts on game one, anyway.
Was waiting for you to ask, Revo.
Sorry.
Yeah, game one, Complexity tried a little bit something that's maybe a little bit out of their comfort zone, I would say. Don't really see them in that particular configuration all that much, I would say. And was really not really stun heavy, quite far from it. All they really had was the puck coil, which is not exactly the biggest stun lockdown, which was a little bit of a part of why they lost, but also because they didn't really have an answer to the Templar Assassin, did not see that coming as a last pick for Wheel. And yeah, Templar Assassin added an Omni Knight, that's a recipe for success, and Wheel showed us that last game, tying up the series, making it a best of three. So, but now, Complexity with that, and they had a little bit of a buffer with that one game advantage coming out from the winner bracket, but now I would assume that they're gonna go back to what they're good at.
Yeah.
Like the Jakiro, yeah, with that top tier pick right now. Wouldn't be surprised to see an Ogre now picked up by Wheel, as it has not been banned out.
Yeah, since they did choose to ban the Omni Knight, it was kind of forced that the Ogre will still be in the pool. Already got some heads on the side of Complexity Gaming, so you might want to get some on the side of Wheel, because you don't want to go up against 7 heads with only 6.
Yeah.
I had to do my math there for a second, but yeah. Or with only 5, either. That would make much more sense, yeah. But, I mean, it could end up getting banned out. There's also some very big picks. They do ban out the Elder Titan as well, which is a key hero, I felt, for Complexity. Even though it didn't work out, it was a very strong pick for them as well, so...
Yeah. I mean, at some point, the Elder Titan works best if you're at least even.
Yeah.
With the enemy team, so you can have that extra bit of advantage just by being able to control the team fights with the Echo Stomp and with the ultimate, of course, and just your sheer presence. But if you aren't really keeping up, then you're just gonna get bursted down way too quickly to really make use of that and get run over, which is exactly what Wheel did in the last game. So to pick up the Vengeful Spirit now, so already a support that we see quite a bit, and now
dear.
Shadow Friend. Here we go, boys. Minus Amistrat coming up.
And they do know they have to pick the Shadow Fiend early for Relic, because it will get respect banned. They can't just leave it in the pool and say, well, we'll pick Shadow Fiend later because he can get counterpicked. When you're this good of a Shadow Fiend player, you kind of have to just say, we'll pick Shadow Fiend now, and then we'll draft around him. And it can be looked at as a weakness, but I feel like it's definitely justified, since Relic plays such a good Shadow Fiend, and he'll be able to make up for any, counters that are picked up against him, you know?
Yep. Yeah, Relic is definitely pretty good, but Complexity is also pretty damn good, and there's plenty of heroes in pool that can be used to counter Shadow Fiend in one way or another. Either you try to mess with him in lane, just by picking up a lane dominator like a Razor, like a Viper, just denying him these early last hits, either by just draining his damage with the static link, or just damage over time from poison attacks or anything of the sort. Then you can shut down Shadow Fiend pretty damn hard and get an advantage early. Or just pick up a couple of aggressive supports, run Jakiro as a core, pick up a Marana +1, and a mid who maybe has a disable or slow to begin with, so you can set up some nice easy kills on a Shadow Fiend once he gets up. And Ogre Magi is one of these kind of heroes that can... If Shadow Fiend is a little bit too far forward and Ogre Magi is maybe smoked, wrapping around, then he can die very, very quickly.
Yeah. And of course Complexity gonna get the extra heads. I do like having Ogre Magi up against Shadow Fiend. However, Shadow Fiend will again reduce his armor, and that seems to be what Wheel are going for. The ban on Naga comes out just to get rid of some extra armor reduction. Of course, Wheel, when you look at him, you can actually say, okay, this is enough armor reduction to make a difference. You don't have to go all in on that strategy. They could actually pick up some nice magic damage to go along with this. Maybe another physical damage. Right carry would work great. They've got a lot of ways they can work this out. They will ban out the Storm Spirit, though. Don't want to have to deal with Dragon Fist. Storm in the mid lane is Shadow Fiend. I would honestly think about banning out the TA.
Radiant team ban.
Yeah.
She has a really good
Okay,
matchup
yeah.
against Shadow Fiend, in my opinion, just because
Yeah.
she blocks the raises, which is his main source of real damage in the extreme early game. Now, of course, once he gets his souls, he's going to be fine, but she can also do a lot
10 seconds remaining.
against him, you know?
Yeah. Shadow Fiend is really, really squishy, and with the glaives, or with the Psyblades, or whatever it's called,
Sideblades, yeah.
you can dish out some decent harassment, especially since you also get that extra bit of damage from the refraction on your attacks. It's not just the damage block,
Team pick.
but also the extra bit of damage that you do yourself. So that can help you out in lane. Then again, Wheel can just keep their options open, and picking up a Venomoth or something as secondary support would make their gank potential a little bit weaker, but would definitely work up against a Templar Assassin.
Yeah.
10 seconds remaining.
We are going to see Slark banned out, though. Definitely don't want to have your stats stolen as Shadow Fiend since you're already pretty squishy. Vengeful Spirit kind of the same way.
Reserve time.
Brewmaster gets banned out by Complexity. I'm not sure about that, but they'll actually pick up the Beastmaster, which
Fire team pick.
is a hero who's risen in popularity the past 3 days, we could honestly say. Mainly due to the summit. He's been picked up a couple times. I don't think he's looked good, to be honest. He's looked alright. I still think there's better heroes there. But this is going to mean, hey, you really want to build that BKB? Because we could just
Yeah.
ignore it. We don't care. Cute.
The Beastmaster has a very specific skill set, and it doesn't
Yeah.
really work in all situations, so that's why you don't see the Beastmaster picked up all that often, because in some lineups, if you're all about magic damage, for example,
Reserve
you don't really get a Beastmaster, because you can't really use the Inner Beast Aura, for example. In this game, though, with the Shadow Fiend, who really benefits from some early attack speed, that works very well, and of course you also have the Call of the Wild, and just the ability to scout whenever for free, essentially, is so important.
You could
It's
say that.
so useful as well.
I guess you could say Beastmaster could tell you he doesn't have money, but what he does have is a very particular set of skills. Skills he's acquired over a very long career. Skills that make me a
it's-
nightmare. Yeah,
From 96 hours, isn't it?
it's from Taken, but yeah, close enough.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
96 hours was the German name for that, I believe.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, you
Oh,
learn
no.
something new every day. But actually,
Yeah,
I like
Czech
that.
It was actually pretty cool.
I like that
Just minus
name a
action.
lot better. To be honest, but I like that name a lot better than Taken.
Yeah.
10
But whatever. We are gonna have Lich picked up by Complexity, so either running Core Jakira or Core Ogre.
seconds.
I don't think it's gonna be Core Ogre though. I think against a Shadow Fiend you're a bit better off running Core Jakiro simply because you need lockdown against him. In my opinion, at least.
It seems like Ogre Magi is so good in the support position that you don't really even want to run him as a core. I mean, you can run him as a greedy 4 position, just soaking up as much gold as you can to eventually maybe get an Aghanim Scepter. And with a Lich, you can do that, because Lich, I mean, he wants to build a mechanism, but sometimes, I mean, Jakira can also pick it up if you really want it, and that leaves Lich to buy the wards and Ogre Magi to, on his way to an Aghanim Scepter, maybe an Urn of Shadows, all these kind of items that an Ogre wants to have. But the thing that makes Ogre so good as a support is that he can just harass, pretty much harass out anyone in lane just by standing there and hitting them.
5 seconds.
Plus the ignite, right? He has really good armor, really good health, and really good health regen, so he doesn't really care about any sort of tickles that's coming back at him, so... In the centaur, okay. That's a little bit of beef there. We'll be able to stand up a little bit to the Shadow Fiend. Good escape mechanism as well. Good initiation. I think that's going to be the most important part. I mean, Shadow Fiend, like the...
10 seconds remaining.
almost like Drow Ranger from last game. If you can get on top of him, stun him once
Remaining.
with a centaur, then you can bring him down pretty damn quickly. You have to be careful not to stand too close, of course, thanks to his mini ult, but
Yeah.
still.
He is a hero with relatively low armor, though, but they do pick up the Lich, which will help them out a bit. I wouldn't be all that surprised to see a Sven here. It provides him a lot of lockdown, a lot of physical damage, and a big armor aura for the team. However, going into a Wraith King, it's a little iffy, once again, because this is a hero who wants to build BKB on complexity, and you don't want to build BKB against Beastmaster most of the time. They'll ban out the Templar Assassin, which I thought they might end up banning out anyway. I wouldn't put some mid-spin out of the question for complexity. The only problem is they are really heavy on their early game, and they don't have much late game here, nor do they have a lot of push to close out the game very early. They'll ban out the Necro, another hero Wheel likes to... What the heck? Okay.
Didn't see that coming, gotta tell you.
You know, I actually really like this, though.
It's one of these few heroes that can actually deal with an Ogre Magi, for example.
Yeah.
Or just a Lich. These kind of squishy heroes, if you can just get a couple of Burning Spears off that are maybe level 2, then you can just kill them just by having that.
The other thing is, though, his ult does now 35%, I want to say 65%, 65% with Scepter, yeah. That is really good against tanky heroes like Centaur. I mean, you jump a Centaur and 65% of his health is, poof, gone. That's not a great situation for Centaur.
Yeah.
But they will pick up Medusa, who is very good against Huskar in some ways, mainly because she is a Lincoln's builder. And there are a lot of targeted spells here. In fact, Lincoln's is going to be invaluable this game, in my opinion. And it's also going to lane relatively well against Shadow Fiend, but not... It's not going to lose the lane, but it's not really going to win it either. It'll be able to win the mid game for them. In terms of lineup, though, I'm just going to side with Wheel, because this is going to be a fun game, even if it's a bad one.
Okay. I would agree though. I mean, Wheel, for me, has the better early game support. The Wraith King has a good stun and some decent damage coming with that. And Vengeful Spirit with the minus armor and the stun as well. They can start roaming around pretty damn early, and I mean, you might not be able to kill the Ogre, because, let's face it, it's an Ogre. It's really hard to kill him.
Yeah.
Unless he's pretty isolated, but someone like Z-Freak on the Lich or Jakiro, if you can get on top of them, dodge the Ice Path, then if he has it, then you can bring him down quite easily. Pick up some early levels, and Medusa as well, even. And
actually, they're going to go into the jungle with no smokes on either side, just a full-out brawl that is not even going to happen, it looks like. Bit of an awkward situation.
You're going to see the wards.
Yeah.
Or see the wards placed down at the very least, so they should be able to
I think they think it's over here, though. And they might completely miss it due to that.
They're pinging out the tree line. So.
They don't know. They think it's over there, and it's over. Oh, no. They missed it.
That guess, yeah. Thought it was in the tree line, but yeah, now they're pinging it out.
I'm not sure if this will block the pull-through camp, though. I want to say it will, though. Actually, it's blocked anyway. Oh, they've got the really sneaky wards.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, this is just mean. Especially for a Wraith King who would like to abuse the jungle. Anyways, let's go ahead and introduce the heroes. On the side of Wheel, your victors in game number 1. I forgot to fix the score. It is 1-1. Blame Revo. There we go. Sorry about that production value, I know.
I wasn't gonna say it. But,
yeah, of course.
Don't mind that now.
Yeah. Anyways. But we do have, who did I introduce? Wraith King, played by Fan of Sorian. We got Derp Derp on the Vengeful Spirit. Down here in the bot lane, it'll be Sleazel on the Huskar, a hero we rarely see. And I'm a Sheep will be up top on the off lane, Beastmaster. And then in the mid lane, it's Relic on the man, the myth, the legend, the fiend of Shadows. Shadow Fiend. Dragon Drop, if you'll take it away.
Another legend here playing for complexity, you could say. Dragon Fist on a Medusa, looking to match up against him. In the safe lane, we've got Swindle on that core Jakiro here. In the
he actually denied the clarity.
Moon Meander's gonna take the Ogre Magi here in the jungle. In the bottom lane, it's gonna be a dual lane with Limp on the center Warner and Z-Freak on the Lich, able to just suck the lane back all the time. So
yeah,
especially with the with both camps blocked, they did end up dewarding the pull camp though, so
they won't get the pull through, but yeah, they'll be okay with that. I do think that the decision to dual lane here is very big. We were talking about how Complexity doesn't exactly have much late game. That was until the Medusa got picked up. Medusa will definitely do a lot in the late game if she gets good farm. Should happen, honestly. But Relic may be able to shut her down in lane. He's known as a very good Shadow Fiend, and like his positioning there to get that raise off is also going for the rune. It's going to completely dodge the potential Mystic Snake damage that could come out. That is a level 2 Mystic Snake now, and it had no chance to bounce to him because he just wasn't available. Fan of Soyon and Derp going to be moving into the jungle a bit here, possibly looking to wrap around toward the mid lane. And Sheep will definitely let them know, but they can also run basically a 1-1-1 lane setup with these two roaming supports. Wraith King's rather slow, but he doesn't need that many levels until he actually gets his ult up, in my opinion. Like, if he's sitting at level 5 for a while, it's not that big of a deal if he's actually playing well. But if he's level 6 and he's staying at level 6 for a while, that's where you run into trouble, you know? Because you're on, like, 3 minutes of cooldown.
Yeah.
For your ult.
If you even level it up.
Yeah.
But yeah, we see Derp and... Who's that? Oh, Fan of Soyon? Yeah. We saw them waste quite a bit of time there. And Dragonfist knew what's up. I mean, that's just natural to assume that. I mean, Z-Freak was actually scouting out the jungle with the haste rune that he had, so they knew that none of these supports were down there. And don't see them top either. So you gotta assume that there's either someone in the jungle looking to either go for the mid lane or the top lane. And it can be a little bit hard to go on a Jakiro as well as an Ogre Magi with the amount of damage over time. It's easy to pay for that, even if you get the kill. So Medusa is really the most gankable target right now for Complexity, and Dragonfist playing very defensively here.
Yeah, and Sleazel going to get jumped on in the bot lane. Limp will get stunned up here. Sleazel does have incredible amounts of attack speed, but there is a point up in return for the Centaur, so he is going to have a bit of trouble there. Seeing as Centaur does deal physical damage, and Sleazel does commit 15 of his own health every time he throws out a Burning Spear. Until he gets some lifesteal, that's going to be a bit of an issue. However, he did go with the EE build, the Double Ring of Protection, which has been very popular on not only Huskar, but, well, not Huskar, but pretty much any other hero, because we don't see Huskar picked in competitive play pretty much at all. Anyways, I'm going to miss First Blood because of Noob. Moon Meander able to help secure First Blood on the Shadow Fiend in the mid lane.
Yep, straight up Ignite into clubbing him to death with a double damage rune, it seems.
Yeah. And helping Medusa win her lane against Shadow Fiend is going to be big. I mean, you send supports to gank him, and he doesn't know about it. That is such a big deal. And I mean, Complexity, they're experts at rotating their supports around early on. Last game, I felt they played a little greedy with the Nature's Prophet sitting in jungle, Elder Titan sitting in the top lane, playing off lane, actually. But Sleazel, he's going to get jumped on. They don't even use the double edge, because they know it'll do more damage to Limp than it will to Huskar to finish him off. But Derp, he might be a bit of cannon fodder for that Centaur Blade right now. Lich will slow him down. That'll let him get a few more right clicks off. There's the double edge to secure the kill. Double kill for Limp, and Wheel sitting 0-3 for Complexity, and Complexity getting off to a great start this match. This was what they were looking for last game that they never quite got to, so.
Yep. And Ogre Magi, aside from those qualities as just harassing someone out of lane straight up, he's also a great rotator for a similar reason. I mean, you can just walk up to someone, throw it in Ignite, throw it a Fire Blast. It's a lot of damage, a lot of slow and stun. If you have any sort of help there, especially with another slow from Lich, it's just an easy kill. And Sheep Suck's gonna die to the same thing, really.
Yeah. And that's not going to be a great situation for him to be in, especially since they got a very aggressive observer out here to spot supports rotating in from Wheel. And Wheel, while they want to rotate their supports, they're not doing a great job of it. You're seeing Venge stuck on level 2. Wraith King level 2 as well, is saving his second skill point right now, which I think is definitely the smart thing to do. And Beastmaster just now is picking up his Soul Ring 6 minutes in. That is not where you want to be. Venge does get a bounty rune, which is going to help her out in her quest for levels. And Shadow Fiend is dominating his mid lane pretty convincingly as well. But he did fall that one time, and that's not going to be great. Also, Complexity just took down the tower. The advantage of Jakiro, I mean, it's what you're looking for when you draft the hero, and they're going to look to go in here on Sheep. Keep in mind, Jakiro and the Beastmaster and Ogre Magi are sitting on relatively similar farm. I think Ogre even has more considering he's bought smokes as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to talk about that Shadow
Yeah.
Fiend. I mean, it's kind of a trade-off that you have because Dragon Fist has to play so defensively because he's not exactly doesn't really have a good escape mechanism. He needs a little bit more farm, a little bit more levels in his mana shield, and once he really has it up, that's the point where he gets really tanky, when you can't really work through his mana and his health. But right now, he's still easily gankable, but he's been playing very defensively. That means that Derp and Soyon can't really do what they really wanted to do, which is use their aggressive potential to their advantage to grab a couple of kills. And if you take that out of the equation, what can they really do, right? They haven't been doing a whole lot, stacking a jungle here and there for Relic to get even more last hits, but it's not the best use of their time, I would say.
Yeah, you definitely want to stack for your Shadow Fiend, but if that's meaning you don't get any levels, that's going to be a bad thing. I do like that they're kind of hovering around him while he's farming. He is going to go for the mech. We want to see a faster timing on this. I'd say around 12 minutes if possible. I'm not sure it is now. Relic taking a lot of damage from that Mystic Snake. Still leading the board in terms of last hits. In fact, he's 63 and 16. 8 minutes into the game here. That is, I'd say, far above perfect. I mean,
I don't think that's possible, but
it wouldn't be possible in any other hero, but the way Shadow Fiend can farm with raises in the jungle, it actually is. He's the one hero who can really farm that quickly, other than Naga in the first 10 minutes of the game. And to do it with Naga takes some serious skill. Sheep is going to get a roar out onto Moomeander, who will rush back in. He dodges the raise because of it. He'll actually just right-click down the Beastmaster in the end. But Relic, with this haste rune up, should be able to track down Jakiro. He's waiting for those raises to come off cooldown. The level 2, or the 2-range raise will manage to secure the kill. That's a double kill for him, and a big step forward. He's going to be 200 or 150 gold from his mech right now, which is incredible.
yeah, good rotation from these two here. Even forcing out a buyback from Moomeander is a little bit overkill, since he didn't really have a chance to secure to save the Jakiro there.
I guess
So
you
we're
could say
pretty far
he
down.
ogre committed. But
Yeah, you could say that. I mean, considering the bad pun that I made in our chat, so
Yeah.
I'll allow you this one. So
this one. I don't get allowed much, nor should I be, but I do it anyway. And actually, they're really harassing out this mid tower. Jakiro said, okay, I'm done top lane Dragon Fist. It's time to push, buddy. Come on, let's go. That tower's ours. And ironically enough, this is what you'd want Beastmaster to be able to do. It's just that his power, the boar has almost no HP, and it just doesn't make that big of an impact. They will jump on Swindle right now. Sleazel able to bring him down, sitting on 180 life points. And meanwhile, Dragon Fist on the other side will get taken down by Beastmaster, who finally does find himself a kill. Relic doesn't really need the kill at this point. He's already got a mech up by 10 minutes, which is excellent. And, I mean, he's sitting on above perfect form at this point. Maybe just perfect at this point, since he has rotated out to get those kills. But, I mean, he's doing really well for himself, so...
Dire's structures are fortified.
So, what do you think about this item build from the Jakiro? Because he doesn't have a single point into the ice path.
You mean
I
skill
feel
build?
like, yeah, skill build.
Okay.
I mean, it feels like if he just threw out the ice path, then he might have had enough time to get out of that engagement down there.
This limp
But not even
does
putting
take...
a single point into it, even in his core position, don't really agree with that, to be honest.
I honestly think they've said, Swindle, your job is to push and to only push ever. That's all you get to do this game. And Swindle's like, really? That's boring, but okay, it'll work. Or will it? Actually, Z-Freak getting stunned up here by Fan of Soyon. Armor reduction comes out. Huskar is going to leap in. Doesn't lose any HP practically. And he'll jump on Jakiro right now, who is starting to melt. There's a ice vortex chain, whatever it's called. I can't even remember. As Huskar does manage to... Chain Frost. But Sleazel does manage to take down Swindle. And Relic coming in for the kill on the Lich from Z-Freak as well. And, I mean... they're really playing well at this point. There is an armlet coming up for Huskar. He's still a little far off from it, but Huskar is one of those heroes that, like Drow, doesn't need that many items. A nice roar there from Sheep. They'll manage to annihilate the Centaur before he can even really make an impact. And then they realize how many heroes have committed to this, and they're going to back off, except for Sleazel, who... Sleazel ain't scared.
Yeah. I mean, why would you be? I mean, the less health you have, the more the scarier you are as a Huskar, really, right?
Yeah.
So if you're suffering around half health, it's actually pretty deceivingly dangerous to go on him and try to break him down, because even if you end up killing him, if he does get off a heal, I mean, he doesn't have enough mana for it now, but if he does get off a heal, he stays alive longer and long enough to get a couple of stacks of Burning Spears in. And if he gets 5, 6, 7 stacks, yeah, that's pretty much gonna kill you, unless you're maybe the Centaur who can maybe withstand that.
Yeah.
But again, also he's only sitting at only 1,000 health.
The problem I have this game is that while Swindle's done well in lane, he hasn't gotten great form, to be honest. The 3 deaths have really hurt him. He's barely scraping enough gold together for a 12-minute Yules, which on a safe lane farmer I'd say is pretty late. They will charge out here, maybe a little preemptive. Sheep has to know something's to go on here, as Ogre is wrapping around. They're getting aggressive ward off. There's an Ice Path as well as the tower going down. Sheep will try to TP out, but won't be able to. Double Edge here to secure the kill from Limp. However, I feel like the rest of Wheel's team is doing just fine. Sheep just doesn't seem comfortable in this hero.
Yeah, I've seen him play it before, but yeah, to be fair, it's not the easiest lane to go up against. We didn't have the easiest start up against the Liquid Fire and the Ignite. You can't really stay in lane up against that.
Yeah.
So it's natural that he wouldn't be getting too much, but all you really need as an offlane is levels, as I think you said earlier, and he definitely got that. That roar in the bottom lane, just destroying the Centaur initiation, was so crucial for them to take that fight.
Yeah, and once you have level 6
with
on
that.
Beastmaster, you can do a lot. Not to mention, just having that level 2 Hawk, which he's gotten 3 points in it. He doesn't have another level to see if we'll put 4 in it or not, but it's honestly just such a useful ability to scout out things early. I mean, we can just look right here and see the vision that it gives is bigger than an Observer Ward, if I'm not mistaken, and it's flying vision, unlike Observers, so it's going to spot things out and really give Wheel some nice map control, which is definitely the kind of thing you want with a Shadow Fiend. It's going to force smoke buys out of complexity, and it may not be enough here.
Yeah, especially since their game plan is kind of a little bit in shambles, I would say. Because, I mean, they have used Swindle as that kind of proposition hero that just runs head first into a tower and tries to bring it down. They've brought down 2 tier 1s. Bottom tier 1 isn't even all that damaged. And now it's Wheel's turn to start going on aggressive on their own, on the back of a decently farmed Sleezel here on a Huskar and Relic, who's been relatively uncontested in mid lane simply because Medusa had to play so defensively. So that was the kind of the trade-off, and Complexity was kind of relying on them to be able to lock down Relic with the Ogre, with the... There we go, with the Centaur, who misses another initiation, is gonna die for it. Mystic Snake comes in, not doing nearly enough here. Dragonfist not willing to go anywhere close there. Wise decision, I would say.
But they do get the kill in the tower, and Wraith King getting a bit of gold from that. He'll be able to work on Blade Mail out of it. Sleazel just using his armlet to bait, and then just turn around and say, oh look, I have much more health than you thought I did. You have underestimated me, and as Huskar would say, time for a sacrifice, basically. Only this time it's not him doing the sacrifice.
Yeah. Well, he is sacrificing, but he's sacrificing someone on the enemy team, right?
Yeah, exactly. He's performing the sacrifice, rather.
Yeah. You could really tell that Wheel was ready for that initiation. As soon as Centaur blinked and everyone was just going into another direction.
Yeah, and that's the best way to initiate or counter-initiate on a Centaur, is just to say, oh, blink stomp, that's real cute, but we know you have a long initiate or a long animation on that stomp. We can work around it. We're gonna be just fine. And
Moon.
It showed off. Oh, where's
in the bottom lane here? He was trying to go on Sleezel, thought better of it, immediately teleported out, almost died even then.
Okay. I get panicky when you do things like that because I'm like, oh no, I'm gonna miss a kill. Chat's gonna flame. Here we go.
It's okay. You missed plenty of kills, so
yeah,
doesn't really matter at this point.
And I've been doing a lot better, I feel, lately. Hopefully, chat will agree with me at least a little bit. I'm not perfect by any means, though. Anyways, the Rune of Destiny, the double damage picked up by Shadow Fiend. He's actually 175 from the BKB. This next fight could be huge.
And he wins in his bottle, in his hands. They win another fight, they can easily take in tier 2 out of that.
Or Roche.
Or Roche, yeah.
I mean, with Huskar just having this Morbid Mask, that's an incredible amount of lifesteal for him, considering how much damage he actually does. Not in terms of per hit, but how fast he hits means he does high DPS, and therefore he's going to get a lot of life back.
Yep.
And actually, Shadow Fiend, I believe, does have that BKB now coming out to him, so they're ready to fight, and Complexity are still looking for a Linken's on Medusa. In fact, 1,200 gold away from that right now. They're sitting on practically nothing, and their other heroes, they have great utility. The Jakiro is able to push, that's cute and all. Centaur is able to initiate if he gets a good stomp off, but the way that Wheel are ready to play around it, they're just not ready at the moment here.
Yep.
And
Yeah, they get a tier 2, they're defending their tier 1 bottom, and tier 2 top already fell early, and it's not really too big of a deal anyway for a Wheel. So Complexity didn't get a whole lot in return of that tower push here in the middle lane, other than a little bit of farm. Now they're gonna group up here. And she gets Liesel down here in the bottom lane. Maybe. Finally goes down, but it takes 4 heroes to do that. Should be able to get a tower off of this on this.
I mean, in terms of Huskar, though, he's basically making space for Shadow Fiend. That's his job. If he can trade evenly with the enemy team, which he's 2-2-2, so I'd say he's doing just fine. In the late game, Shadow Fiend's going to be ridiculous because he's sitting 4-1. That's why I like seeing Huskar mid a bit more. It's really strange, I know, but having a stronger carry backing Huskar up is really big. And so pairing him with Shadow Fiend seems like a natural pairing, to be honest. The only downside is they're both kind of squishy in terms of Huskar to right-click with his low-ish armor with no farm, and Shadow Fiend just in general, so...
Well, he has 13 armor right now, so...
Oh, well, I would like to, Oh, Huskar does.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, once he's gotten his farm,
reconsider
yeah.
your statement.
Yeah, just slightly. I would like to retract that.
He's also with the Berserker's Blood, and the heal coming out from the Vitality. He only has 1 point into it so far, but once he maxes that out as well, it's really hard to actually bring him down if you don't have enough physical burst damage.
I mean, it gives you 5% bonus from your strength. So, he's actually getting an extra 2 health per second, and then 30% faster heals. So,
Yep.
I'm not going to do the math right here, but it's a lot of heals coming out on him. And, I mean, Shadow Fiend, for instance, the more agility he gets, which he gets quite a lot,
set
the
up for
faster
a
he's
kill
going to
here.
go. Or they're going to look for one. There's a nice Blink Stomp onto Derp Derp. Ice Pass comes through. They'll be able to secure the Vengeful Spirit going down. But keep in mind, Jakiro will be carrying a negative damage aura unless they bring him down real quick. Phantom Sorion jumping on him. Burning Spear's doing some damage. Nice Ice Path to try and disengage here. But they're looking for a Blink forward. They don't have a Blink Dagger at the moment. Not even Shadow Fiend is able to close the distance. However, he'll come around. He's going to try to TP out. And I don't think he's going to be able to. He will actually get away here.
Wow. I mean, Sheepsack's turn around there as well. Might have been able to bring him down with the Wild Axis. I was all ready for the Buttered Ward cost line, but it's actually not that much of a cost as they all get out somehow with the teleports.
But it is going to be a big cost in terms of map control, because, I mean, we all know they can take Roche very quickly with all the armor reduction they have on their side, even without Vengeful Spirit here. They've got the presence of the Dark Lord, which is level 3 right now, so that's 5 armor. And they're going to be able to take this Roche before Complexity can really react to it, I believe.
Complexity isn't careful.
They'll
They
give it
might
a Huskar,
run
yeah.
right into the fire here.
Yep, there'll be an ult out from Medusa, and if they can stay away from this long enough, they'll be okay. Sheep is going to go down. Relic just trying to stay out of the fight for a moment. He will get stone formed up here, but he is going to wake up from his sleep in just a second. Same with Wraith King, who's getting up here. Relic fakes the Requiem. Now he'll throw it out. Nicely placed there. Moomiander won't be able to do any right-click damage. Actually, not really Delta splitting well here, but actually the Lich Ult is just going to run out here. Dragon Fist, he does manage to block Huskar's leap with the Lincolns, which is going to be a big plus side for him. Swindle able to find a kill off of that, but they trade 2 for 2. They still have their cores up, and they take down Centaur as well, and Ogre. Probably the 2 tankier heroes on the side of this lineup from Complexity. Medusa is arguably very tanky as well. They will bring Sleazel down, but again, he's got the Aegis. So, who really cares, you know?
Yeah, but you could have held on to that for another fight. He's desperately looking for another pickup here. Might just want to go on Dragon Fist, but he's too fast. So a little bit of a waste there. Sleazel expected more from this.
I want to see Ags come up next for Huskar. I know it seems a little ridiculous, But the amount of damage you will do with that is huge, and also the 4-second cooldown turns that into, you are now Riki.
Yeah.
a flaming Riki, basically, because you can just jump to everything. And you take away 65% of their HP. Every time you do it, you also get yourself low.
We'll see Swindle up here in the jungle. He is so dead. Maybe not just yet. It's only a matter of time. BoA tries to help here, throws a stun, gets a multicast, but gets roared up here and eats a lot of flaming arrows to the face. Dragonfist throws out the ultimate just to ward them off of him.
Yeah.
So it's 2 heroes down and the tower ripe for the taking as a result as well.
Yeah, and Beastmaster showing off his Necronomicon now. 600 gold already ready, or 1,000 now, for his level 2. He's going to be getting a level 3 Necrobook very soon, and Complexity may have had the 1-game advantage coming into this, but it really doesn't look like they're the stronger team at the moment. Their drafts just seem to be a little out of sync, and the Wheel, on the other hand, looks amazing.
Yep. They're playing very coordinated, they make their draft work. They play their game and they don't let Complexity mess with it. Essentially what it is. I mean, they're bringing down a tier 3 top 23 minutes into the game. Sleazel doesn't have a fear in the world, neither does Relic, even without the Aegis, even with low health.
Yeah.
But what can Complexity really do? Jakiro down, Ogre down, those are their 2 really big team fighters. And lockdown heroes. I mean, Centaur has been countered pretty well just by positioning and reaction time. Lich can't really do much. I mean, you can throw out a stun, maybe a Chain Frost, but we saw the Chain Frost bounce in that Roche engagement the entire time, and Wheel just did not care, right? Medusa also blowing her ultimate earlier doesn't really do a whole lot of damage with just a Yasha and a Lincoln Sphere just yet.
Yeah, she can survive in these fights because she can block the Huskar ult, but I have a feeling that's not going to be going on much longer. The other reason I'd like to see the Ags come out for him, and he's actually going to go BKB, which is probably your safer choice. The only downside is that Medusa's ult does go through BKB. It's still balanced in my opinion, but it's just a little annoying in my opinion as well. But he'll be able to do 3 life breaks to Medusa before her Lincolns comes off again if he uses them every time. And keep in mind, this will have a 6-second slow on it if he, or no, it's 6 seconds slow anyway, my apologies. Which a 50% slow at 6 seconds is insane, but yeah. I'm sorry, I thought that was attached to the scepter for some reason.
No. Not everything is on a scepter.
Yeah.
But even without that, the 12-second cooldown is also not really bad.
Yeah.
You can fight whenever, right?
And if you time it right, you can still pop the Lincolns once with it, just to get yourself to low HP, and then go again and actually take down a chunk of Medusa's health.
Yeah. Then again, there's also a number of other things that can trigger the Lincolns. I mean, Vengeful Spirit, even with the Medallion of Courage, would be the cheapest thing to do.
Yeah.
Then you can commit the 4-star on the Wraith King or Wraith Fire Blast, or the stun from Vengeful Spirit isn't all that long anyway. So there's plenty of things that you can do to just break the Lincolns and then make sure that Sleazel has free reign over the Medusa.
Mm-hmm.
Then again, they don't really care about Medusa right now, right? They know that Medusa can't really fight them. All they need to really be aware of is Stone Gaze, not to run into that 5-man. But apart from that, they can just do what they did before: barrel down a lane, bring down a lane of Rax, or another tower at least. Kill all the other heroes on the side of Complexity. Because all that can happen for Wheel before Dragonfist really gets out of control.
Yeah. And if they can push and close out this game very early, they're going to be able to do that. And also, if they can just keep Medusa away from Shadow Fiend, in terms of on the map and in terms of net worth, if they can keep her kind of down in the gutter in terms of farm, she's never really going to come online. She's not a hero who is naturally going to just, okay, you got to late game, congrats. Because you do need items on her. That is definitely something you have to consider. And they will manage to take down the Jakiro.
Yep. They only have 1 creep with them, and that can be all they need if they want to go high ground right now. More than likely, though, that they will wait for the next creeper, but no,
Protect
never
the
mind,
creep.
just go in.
Yeah, Venezuelans like, don't worry, I've got an extra life, guys. No big deal.
Hector that one creep's all they needed to disable backdoor protection. No. Now they're just gonna go straight down for top ranks. No buyback available on Jakiro. Without that, they can't really fight, but they kind of have to as well.
They definitely have to.
Just being a filter here.
They want to save that Medusa ult for when they can use it to also set up an ice path, so that when the heroes come out of that stone form, they can instantly follow it up with an ice path. It'll do a little bit of damage, but most importantly, lock them down. The problem is, with Jakiro down, Wheel just hit a perfect timing, and we're able to pick off our racks because of it. So,
yeah, very well played. Not to try and go for a tier 3, but taking a look at the bigger prize, just utilizing the fact that even though the creep dies here, if you're still in the base, the backdoor regeneration or the backdoor protection doesn't get re-enabled until you leave the base. I think that's how it works. So, using that opportunity to take down the racks that they've exposed before.
Yeah, we've had some weird situations with backdoor protection, and I will admit, some of the backdoor mechanics are very confusing to me, but yeah, I believe you're right on that one, Drag and Drop.
Yeah.
You know,
I only learned that recently as well on some other random casts that I watched.
Yeah.
But,
the more you know, though. Centaur looking for, I'm assuming, something like a Crimson Guard or a Heart. I would actually really like Crimson Guard on him, though, simply because they need defense against these right clicks, and that would do quite a lot to defend against right clicks, obviously.
Yeah. And the Heart isn't really gonna do a whole lot to him simply because there's the Saska. I mean, he doesn't have an axe just yet, but either way, 35% of your health is gonna get taken away by the standard ultimate.
Yeah, I'm trying to just... Okay. Yeah, he does have enough to buy out the Vanguard right now, but I believe he'll either wait for the completed Crimson Guard, the ability to buy that out, or he'll just save for buyback.
I think he kind of has to save for buyback. All of them have to. Because if they lose another fight like that, I mean, it's not even a fight. It was just a pick-off on a Jakiro. That's all we really needed to bring down complexity. Oh god, they're gonna run into each other now.
Yep, nice ult from Medusa. Does manage to block one stun, but doesn't block the other. Derp will get stomped on. Nice ice path on 3 from Jakiro. This could be the fight Complexity's looking for. They charge in. There's a shout out on someone on the other end of the fight, but in the end, they're just going to disengage. Jakiro dropping low, and he will go down, I believe, to the Beastmaster with his army of minions here, as well as some lane creeps he's picked up along the way. A Blade Mail bought out on the Centaur. This is another great option for them. Finally, Moon Meander picking up his Ags at 29 minutes. Still a relatively okay timing, but you'd like to have it a lot sooner, of course. And actually, a blink in from Limp. Relic, he's going to ulti up here. A buyback comes out from the Jakiro. A TP in from the team. Jakiro going to get jumped on by Sleazel from the back lines of the fight. And now he'll go on Dragonfist, who does evade a stun with the Lincoln Sphere. Nice ult from the Lich, but there's so many minions around. They can't really do much. They bring down Swindle Melons. They're going to throw out the axes, and Dragonfist dropping very low. And it looks like we may see Wheel sitting 2 games to Complexity's 1.
They know that they can't be killed. Even Lim there, once again, trying for initiation. Gets it off this time, but him alone, just not enough damage. So that's a Rax down, and now Wheel will just be able to get the hell out. But Complexity, they're chasing. Okay. They have to get something here. Might get Sleazel.
They're bringing him low.
Coming out.
But it's not enough. He's got that armlet and he's toggling it like a pure man. Dragonfist is going to get jumped on now. Some more damage will come out onto the Wraith King, but he'll fall. Dragonfist, I believe, was working on a rapier there for the like all-in comeback play, but it couldn't even farm it up in time simply because there wasn't time for them. They're called GG. We'll be going over to game number 3, and the score is 2-1. Goody Kashame Lento.
I don't know what that means. I mean, Goody is fan of Soyon. But
yeah, it's something they say about Smash, about doing certain acts to someone slowly.
Okay, I'm not gonna inquire any
further. Yeah. Anyways, Wheel pulling out another game here, and Complexity just not looking so hot. We'll be right back, guys, with game number 3 in the series to see if Wheel can close it out, or if Complexity can kind of bring back what's quickly becoming a reverse all-kill. We'll find out. I'm Esper Evolution 5, joined by Drag and Drop Dota. It's a little weird because the one game advantage, but...
It's not... The reverse all-kill is just when you almost all kill someone, like if Complexity had 2 games and we're on match point, and then the all kill happens, or we end
Okay.
up with kind of just
Yeah.
like this. I would only call it an all kill.
Okay.
E-
Yeah, that would be true.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Learn.
It does make more sense when you're talking about one-on-one players in like the Pro League format in StarCraft 2, when you
Yeah.
have one player just getting everyone else on the other team. But
Yeah.
regardless, it's just like theory that no one really cares about.
Yeah. Anyways, we will be right back with game number 2. Don't go anywhere, guys. It's going to be a great series.